Church of God, which is a part of this community, and the Frankfield Ministers for Fraternal, of which I'm the PRO, and I am glad to be here. And I heard the chairperson say that you make it. But as I sit there and reflect on a passage of scripture where it declares that we have not been this way before. But nonetheless, we have made it. And as you have made it, I want you to cherish this in mind, that the same grace that brought you thus far is the same grace that will take you to the next stage of your life. Wherever you transition to which school you go, never forget that the God that kept you through 2019 up to 2021 through the pandemic and all kind of thing will keep you in the future. As you go, grow, and as you grow, glow. God bless you in Jesus' name.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. Greetings from the board chair. It is an honor for me to bring greetings and congratulations from the school board on this auspicious occasion. I and the other board members salute your success. Graduation is a time to celebrate your achievements, prepare for a future of opportunities, and embrace a world of infinite possibilities. Your graduation is a tremendous milestone and a huge accomplishment for each of you, your family, and your extended group of supporters. Years of dedication, perseverance, and sacrifice have brought you to this momentous moment, and you should be incredibly proud of yourselves and feel confident as you embark on another phase of your education. Though the coronavirus has greatly disrupted our society, you successfully navigated this new norm, overcoming the challenges. You are all graduating in a year that the history books will refer to as the year the world forever changed. Today, I ask you to embrace these challenging times, turn the lessons learned into opportunities, and be a positive force for all that is good. Your graduation is an amazing accomplishment and one you should take great pride in achieving. Our world is slowly being passed to your capable hands, and I feel confident that each of you will be successful. As our school's motto goes, hard work is the key to success. Always remember that good results are attained through hard work. We are proud that your diligence and hard work have enabled you to graduate. It has been a challenging time, but you have overcome the challenges. Your new challenge going forward is to continue to stretch and extend your abilities. Winners accept nothing but the best from themselves, and you are all winners. To parents, family members, thank you for getting our children to this graduation day. You have all been so gracious as we navigated this remote learning together. Thank you for being patient as we learned how to use these different platforms, figured out what times of day and what worked best for you and your children, and made sure all our students could get through this. Special thanks to the teachers and all other staff members who made sure all our students got to this graduation day. Again, congratulations to the graduates, and the good Lord bless all your future endeavors. Keep doing right and thinking and speaking up when there is wrong in the world. As Mohandas Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in this world." I hope you all find your voice and go make this world a better place for everyone. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Henriquez and Pastor Peku and Mrs. Griffiths on behalf of Miss Anderson. We are now at a part of the ceremony that I especially love. The part where the graduates render their item. You know, it shows tenacity, it shows resilience, it's a time of celebration. It shows that they have completed another milestone and they're ready to take on the next step of the journey. Because in their little minds, they may think, oh yes, primary school is over, but poor little things, they don't even know how far they have to go. But in their minds, they have reached and they have gained the right to celebrate, and we celebrate with them. And I love it when they stand and they sing and they let out the words, and you can see the smiles on their faces and how happy they are, and we celebrate with them. So put your hands together as the graduating class will now be given an item. Come on, man, put your hands together for them. Clap them like you really want. Clap them, man. Time is yours, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you, graduates. I know I don't have to tell you twice to put your hands together for them. Give them another good round of applause. It's the climb. There's a part in this song that says something about struggles, but no, I'm not breaking. No, I'm not breaking. You see, I am just sitting and observing and listening and seeing how carefully everything was chosen. Everything was selected. This is a song that is fittingly appropriate and appropriately fitting. Put your hands together for the graduates again. It's the climb. The only disability somebody says is a bad attitude. And if the attitudes that are being mentioned in these songs are actually lived out by these children, then it doesn't matter how high any mountain gets, they will be able to climb these mountains. The other day I was walking and I was walking up a series of hills and I felt like I just couldn't make it. You know some hill where you're about 4 belly. Forgive. You understand what I mean? You finish one hill and you feel like you reach a flat now and a hill again and a hill again. And then I finished the hill and I got to the level. And I said, my God, this is what life is like. I thought the hills wouldn't end, but you know what? The hills ended and I got like, so when I reach a level, me walk like a boss. If you see me I walk, you don't believe, say, I me couldn't make you over the hill them a while ago. That's what life is. So COVID, the pandemic, the pandemic, whatever it is just a series of hills. But on a soterianic, hills do not last forever. There are not just hills in the terrain. After you scale your hills, you must find a plain. And so we're scaling now. The struggles are hard, but we are not breaking. We're climbing our hills. We're marching up our mountains because we know that the plain is in view. Thank you so much, graduates. It's the climb. We continue to climb. We want to welcome the principal at this time, and she will be coming. Mrs. Empert, acting principal, she will be coming with the principal's report. We know that this has been a difficult time, but you know, even though schools closed physically, school was always going on. Something was always going on. And our principal is coming to share with us what was happening in her neck of the woods. Put your hands together for her as she comes.
Again, I must recognize our Member of Parliament, Mr. Philip Henriquez, our pastor, Pastor Peku, our MC, Mrs. Copeland, teachers, graduates. I greet you again. Deep within our hearts, there lies a magic spark that lights the fire of our imagination. And since the dawn of man, the strength of just I can has brought together people of all nations. These words were taken from the lyrics of Celine Dion, The Dream That Brings Us Here. And I must share the strength, graduates, of just I can has brought us here. The 2020-21 school year started with distance learning on the 5th of October, 2020. On the first day of school, we had a general devotion using the Zoom platform. This devotion serves to welcome the presence of God among us as teachers, students, parents, and other stakeholders. It was also an empowerment session and one to help students to come to the realization that school has started even though they were at home. We have an enrollment of 193 students. Of this number, there are 39 infants and 154 students of grades 1 to 6. We are ably led by the Board of Management. Special recognition to our chairman, Ms. Maxine Anderson, and the other members of the board who have dedicated their precious time in crafting a roadmap for this institution. We have a committed academic staff consisting of 10 members.
Mrs. Andrea Ricketts, acting vice principal and teacher of grade 6. Mrs. Tisha Griffiths, senior teacher and teacher of infant 2. Mr. Royan Llewellyn, teacher of grade 5. Miss Corona Wignall, teacher of grade 4. Mr. Fabian Campbell, teacher of grade 3. Miss Samantha Rose, teacher of grade 2. Miss Misha Walters, teacher of grade 1. Mrs. Mavis Bedward, teacher of infant 1. Miss Nikisha Christie, our guidance counselor, and yours truly, Michelle Peart, acting principal. We also have a hard-working auxiliary staff of 8 persons. Miss Tanisha Denton, caregiver for the infants. Miss Beverly Thompson and Mrs. Jacqueline Anderson, cooks. Mr. Leonard Green, our janitor. And 5 watchmen, which includes Mr. Johnson, Mr. Fowler, Mr. Wright, Mr. Wisdom, and Mr. Ricketts. This was no ordinary school year. The coronavirus pushed the education system into a lot of creative methods of reaching students. Necessity surely is the mother of invention, because out of our distant learning situations came the birth of Zoom platform, Google Suite, and other creative methods of teaching learning. In preparation for the school year, we took measures in following the COVID-19 protocols as stipulated by the government of Jamaica, with the creation of a sick bay and isolation area, construction of hand washing stations, and mounting of different signs. We at Kilsyth started the ball by getting all our students on a learning platform through whichever medium we could. Google Suite, WhatsApp, phone calls, home visits, and printed materials. Unfortunately, about 40% of our students were not being engaged on a daily basis because of various limitations. Students of the graduating class, we love you. The time you spent with us from as early as 2013 will be cherished. You spent most of the school year in a virtual form, but nevertheless, this does not subtract from the love we have for you. We could not share our love for each other with a hug or embrace, but be cognizant of the fact that as you go, you touched our hearts dearly. Our school improvement continues as we seek to make Kilsyth Primary and Infant a friendly institution which will continue to produce students with knowledge and skills so that they will function effectively in society. Our objectives of raising the bar to a high level of literacy and numeracy became more challenging because of the absence of the students in the physical classroom. It is our ultimate dream that when the students are back, we will go full speed ahead in helping them to recover whatever was lost and to improve their numeracy and literacy by far. Last year, we did not have a graduation ceremony. Unfortunately, this will not distract from the fact that our students who were school leavers of July 2020 did an excellent job at their PEP examination. And I must take this time to recognize the top students of last year. You see, last year, the teacher of grade 6, Mr. Fabian Campbell, he's our musician sitting behind, he did a really great job with the students. He had them from they were in grade 4. And at the end of grade 6, they were excellent in their PEP exams. I wanted to give a round of applause for them. They are not here today. I must mention some of the top students of last year. The top girl of last year was Odia Linton. She's now a student at Edwin Allen High School. She was placed at Edwin Allen. And our top boy, Jamil Anderson, is placed at Calabar High. Other top students, Nashib Carnegie, placed at Bishop Gibson High, Gabriel Mackenzie and Cherise Bonnick, placed at Clarendon College, Riada Reed, placed at Glenmuir High, Sahira Bent was placed at Knox High, Kelly K. Daly was placed at Manchester High, Stephen Page and Conroy Fowler was placed at Edwin Allen High. These are just a few of the 33 students who graduated last year. Graduates, the PEP results for this year is not out as yet, but we are sure that given the circumstances that you worked with, you will, however, achieve greatness. A lot of improvement took place, however, on our school grounds. Our L-shaped and infant building were re-roofed for the prevention of leaks and for providing a much-needed facelift and gutter to allow water harvesting. Thanks to our past MP, Mr. Richard Azan, for helping us to achieve this goal. We made improvement in managing our solid waste with the building of a garbage bin. Also, there's improvement to our bathroom facilities. We continue to reap benefits from Friends of Kilsyth Primary and Infant. Thanks to Mr. Winston Johnson, PA, for the improvement of our canteen facilities. We made improvement of our water storage with the addition of 3 more water tanks. These were donated by the Environmental Health Foundation, of which Mr. Andrew Carty, a past student, is a part. We thank them so much. They also donated items and safety equipment to our school. We are also grateful to the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, for the donation of sanitization items and equipment, and the donation of 2 tablets to students in need. There's also the donation of 2 tablets from Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, past students and sponsor of the Dottie Christie Awards. There's a donation of 11 tablets and 1 phone from 2 other sponsors. Some of our students who are in need of these devices are not on the PATH program, and they were beneficiaries, and hence this assisted for online learning. We are grateful to these sponsors. We also received 40 tablets from the Ministry of Education for students of grades 4 to 6 who are on the PATH program. Thanks to the Ministry of Education. We are now proud recipient of a state-of-the-art infant building. It will be completed in August of this year with state-of-the-art amenities, including a play area. Upon completion, we will now have the facilities to deliver one of the best quality early childhood education in Jamaica. We are extremely grateful to the Culture, Health, Arts, Sports, and Health Foundation, CHASE, and to our MP, our Member of Parliament, Mr. Philip Henriquez, for making this dream of Kilsyth Primary and Infant a reality. Our short-term plan is for the certification of the infant department to improve safety and security in our school and to increase literacy and numeracy to the highest level possible. All this will be possible with the hopeful resumption of face-to-face school in September. In closing, I must say thanks to our dedicated parents who pulled out all the stops to ensure that their children access learning in spite of the separation, and especially the parents of the graduating class. You were allowed to join us today virtually. Thanks to you for grooming your children, and please continue to work with them as they made the transition to high school. Graduates, congratulations. Your future beckons. Go with God as your continuous guide. With His grace, you will achieve the goals you have set for yourself. To everyone who made this graduation ceremony possible, a big thank you. Let us all continue to put our trust in our Almighty Father and Jesus Christ, the author and the finisher of our faith. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Principal. Put your hands together for her again. Regardless of what is happening, things are happening. Good things are happening here at Kilsyth. And it speaks of the resilience that we have among us. Put your hands together one more time for her and for yourselves, who continue to work to ensure that the business of educating the nation's children continues. We're now going to be inviting Tamika Stewart. She will be coming to introduce the guest speaker, and immediately after, we will have the guest speaker's address. Mr. Jeremy, we'll have the guest speaker's address, and this, as was said before, will be done virtually. Put your hands together for Tamika.
Good afternoon, everyone. Madam Chairman, Acting Principal, teachers, members of the Board of Management, our guest speaker, invited guests, parents, well-wishers joining us on the different social media platforms, fellow graduates, a pleasant afternoon. The task is mine to introduce our young and intelligent guest speaker. I am delighted and extremely proud because our honored guest is a past student of this noble institution. He graced this earth in 1991 in the quiet community of Watercrest near the town of Frankfield, Clarendon. He was an involved and academically inclined student at the Kilsyth Primary School, which afforded him the privilege of valedictorian and many awards as top student in 2002. He spent a short period at Edwin High School and then migrated to the United States of America, where he finished his high school education. After leaving high school, he acquired a bachelor's degree in philosophy and a minor in rhetoric in 2012. He believed in helping others, and so while in college, he tutored high school students of the underserved populations who desire to enter college. Our guest speaker believes in going after your dreams. Hence, in 2012, he enrolled in the University of Baltimore School of Law. He graduated in 2015 magna cum laude. During his course of study, he was the president of Black Law Students Association from 2014 to 2015, runner-up for National BLSA Chapter of the Year, and Most Outstanding Student Organization at the University of Baltimore School of Law from 2014 to 2015. Like all other levels of his education, our guest speaker completed his studies as a top achiever with many awards such as Thurgood Marshall Mock Trial Team Regional Finalist in 2014, BLSA Peer Leadership Award in 2014, BLSA Mentorship Award in 2014, Law Faculty Award for Most Outstanding Day Student JD in 2015, BLSA Peer Leadership Award in 2015, BLSA Image Award in 2015. He gained employment at several law firms where he represented numerous international corporations and continued to receive many awards and accolades. He was also featured in all major news platforms, including the Jamaica Gleaner, Observer, and Star. He is married and has a son. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it gives me great pleasure to now invite Mr. Jermaine Horton as he challenges and enriches our minds as we move on to greater heights in our education.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That resonated with me. And now that I'm a little bit older, I'm married, I have a son, and as I was preparing for this speech, it forced me to think about the speech Elika and I gave almost 20 years ago at our Kilsyth graduation and what it really meant. And more importantly, it forced me to think about what lessons I can share with you all about that speech 20 years later. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. See, for people who don't value the human mind and its ability to inspire, that quote is simplistic. Of course, if you're traveling 1,000 miles, it begins when you make the first step. That's simple enough. But for some of us, what we really hear is that you can dream of the destination. You can conceptualize it. Your teachers, preachers, and family members can instill the confidence in you to get there. They can give you the foundation to get there. But if you don't own that vision, and if you don't step towards it with purpose and determination, it will forever be a dream. I want you to think of your journey as starting with your education here at Kilsyth Primary School, because this is your foundation. By completing the rigorous curriculum your teachers have put before you here at this institution, you have made your first step. And some of you might say, yes, I made my first step, but towards what exactly? And people use the term success in such exclusive ways. They box you in and limit you by the very way they define and talk about success. That it sometimes confuses young people and maybe even discourages some young people. That it sometimes makes success seem unattainable for some. You hear people talk about success and they mention it only with certain careers. They measure it by tax brackets. They measure success by who gets the best grades in school. When they talk about success, they mention lawyers and doctors, maybe some other careers. And if you feel that being a lawyer or a doctor is not for you, the discourse in society can make you feel less than. Or it can make you feel like giving up altogether on the thoughts of achieving success. So let's start there. And I think it's worth sharing the definition of success that I have come to adopt over the years, which I hope will mean something to you graduates. I think of success as being the place where your natural self and your occupation collides, where you can earn an honest living, do good, and be fulfilled in your life. The next few lines of my speech may make some of you uncomfortable because it challenges some of the things that you have heard in the way that you and maybe your parents have see certain jobs and professions. But it's worth us going there today because, you see, they say if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its entire life thinking that it's worthless. And I want to use my time today to show you that each and every one of you are worthy, that each and every one of you can be great, and that each and every one of you can be successful. So let's have the conversation. If you have taken a liking to the outdoors as a child, and you love to work with animals, or to plant and reap crops with your mom, dad, or grandparents, I suggest you nurture that. I suggest you diligently complete your coursework in high school and that you further educate yourself with courses in agriculture, business, and biology. To become a successful zoologist, forester, environmental engineer, or a wildlife biologist, or many others. It doesn't matter whether you know a successful farm operation right now or not, or whether you have heard of some of these other professions prior to today. You could still do it. Because I can guarantee you one thing. If your true calling is to be the farmer to supply a large percentage of the healthy fruits and vegetables that your community or country needs, you could still be a lawyer, but you would be a miserable one. And if you love to fix things, make your own toys, and design things that sometimes only make sense to you, I suggest you nurture that. And that you diligently complete your coursework in high school and further your education in courses involving engineering, fashion design, technology, electronics, music, and the arts. It does not matter if you know an engineer right now, just believe me. And it doesn't matter if people think your dream is unattainable. But if you are born naturally inclined to be an engineer, designer, technologist, electrician, builder, musician, or auto mechanic, you will probably be a miserable doctor. And very few people would want to trust you to deliver their babies or to do heart surgery on them, because that is not your calling. If science is your favorite subject and you love helping people who are sick or hurt, consider being a doctor or a nurse. If you love painting or drawing, an artist. If you truly love the art of persuasion or law enforcement, a lawyer, police officer, or a judge. If you love teaching and inspiring those around you to find success within themselves, a teacher. If you love making people laugh, you can be a comedian. If you truly love cooking, a chef. If you love cleaning, a sanitation engineer. If you love to play cricket, soccer, track and field, and you're decent at it, an athlete. And if you love bringing news, a journalist. If you love something I haven't mentioned, maximize that too and nurture it. And if you don't know what it is that you are truly passionate about yet, I suggest you give yourself time to find it, because you will. My point is, success begins with first identifying your true passion. What makes you feel good about the world? What is it that gives you happiness? Where do you find meaning? And see, as you grow up, your views about the world might change. Your views about your community might change. But graduates, if you find that one thing that you love about life itself, you can maximize it and you can be successful in it. You can blaze trails where there are none. And you can be things that you don't see around you growing up. So if the question is, what have I taken the first step towards? The answer is finding out what success means for you. Sounds easy enough, Jermaine. They got you in here virtually today, talking. Of course you're going to say things that you think we want to hear. But do you know how many times I don't even feel like doing my homework? How many days I'm in class and everyone seems to get things so much faster than I do? You know how many bad report cards I took home and my parents were not happy? You know how many times I have to read something to understand it? Do you even know how hard it is, Jermaine, for me to be motivated on this path sometimes? How hard it seems to do the things that Tamika told us that you have done. I do. I do know. I have been there. I still find myself there sometimes to this day. And I have been through Kilsyth, 2 high schools, college, law school, and I've been practicing law for almost 6 years. I still have days that I feel like you do. It does not go away. My colleagues in law school, they knew one thing about me. I was transparent. It's no secret that I had to study many more hours at times to know the coursework than some of my colleagues did. There's no secret that I tried my best to simplify things and to stay away from pronouncing big words that were hard to pronounce unless I really needed them. If I didn't understand something, they could be sure that I would let it be known. And I would either ask the professor or I would ask another student. And I simply did not care who thought I was too slow in my understanding or who thought I was not smart enough to be there. I remember we read a case in law school, which is largely the kind of things that you read. And it was a case that spanned about 50 pages or something. And it was in constitutional law, which, if my law school friends are on here, they can tell you that you can talk to me about anything else. All those awards you heard about was for everything else except constitutional law. That's more so my wife's passion. But I tell you, back to this case, I read it no less than 3 times. And we had 2 whole class sessions on this case, 1 hour each. And the professor discussed it in painstaking detail. And at the end of it, everyone was happy to move on. But I wasn't. So I raised my hand. Excuse me, professor. Can you tell me what it is exactly that we were supposed to get from this case? Because I still have no clue. Now, it was a class of about 70 to 80 law students, and I love my classmates. But some law students, they like to think of themselves as the smartest of the smart. But on this day, when I made that statement, all of my classmates started clapping and laughing with me. You know why? Some of them told me after the class that they too had no clue what the case was about. And they were so happy that someone could say it out loud. Graduates, I challenge you to be the person that has comfort in your processing speed, to be the person that has comfort in your analytical skill set, to have comfort in your own truth. It just works out better for you in the end that way, because you end up marching to your own tune and not to somebody else's. Some of my former teachers at Kilsyth, Mrs. Carty, Miss Thomas, who I see is on here, Mrs. Ramsharam, Mrs. Baxter, and others, they might hear me and say, Jeremiah, you see him looking bright, boy, what did in my class? Him get on to everything so quick. That message ain't not sound right that come from him. But just know, as you grow up, the road will become more challenging. The things you're asked to understand and wrap your mind around will only get harder and more difficult. And you will have to learn yourself and then apply yourself more to achieve. And that's both in your professional and in your personal life. But you must tackle it strategically. And what I'm going to say next is probably the most important piece of my speech. You must put your mental health first. If you don't get anything from me today, I hope that you get that, and I will repeat it. You must put your mental health first. Because the best version of you, I promise, will only come from a place where you are at peace with your own self. When you do what works for you. When you don't feel the need to pretend to be something or someone that you're not. And when your aspirations truly come from within. But any way you put it, you must commit to working hard and to working smart if you want to be successful. As your motto says, hard work is the key to success. You must set high standards in whatever you do. And you must do the work behind the scenes to learn your craft and to prepare yourself to be successful. And a part of that work, too, is to find a balance with mental breaks, with pacing yourself appropriately, and with avoiding destructive energy. You must not be afraid to speak to mentors, advisors, therapists, counselors, and psychiatrists as you grow into adulthood. They will help you deal with especially difficult times, and they will help you better yourself over time. Just remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. You must not neglect your mental health. Every Jamaican knows that feeling when you just feel away from time to time. To this day, I'm still trying to find more specific terminology to describe my feelings of that. Boy, I just feel that way, yeah, man. But the point is, how you deal with those times when you just feel that way, that will play a vital role in how far you take your dreams and passions. So graduates, on the days that you feel less than motivated, know that you're not alone. Listen to your favorite song. Read a Bible verse that gives you strength. Look at some funny memes. Go for a walk or a swim. Play a sport for a while. And on the days you find yourself questioning whether your path is truly for you, pray about it. Talk with someone who you trust to give you good advice. When you feel afraid about what the future holds, remember that what you control is your commitment, effort, and dedication. When you feel that you don't have support on your journey, remember that no one can believe in you like you can. And when life knocks you down, brush yourself off, smile, and carry on. And family members, I know you're here because some of you didn't mute yourself earlier. And I'm not trying to get anybody into problems, but I know you're here. Don't you believe for a second that these children, because they're young, don't deal with life's challenges. Their challenges are just a bit different than what we face as adults. But they are still worth acknowledgement and respect. So it's not only important for you to sing their praises when they are the top girl or the top boy, or they have the top grades or get the awards. It's also important for you to support them when they have less than ideal days or when their motivation is low. It's important to reason with them, and more so than to judge them or cuss them out. Check in with them to see how they're doing. Ask questions of them and be prepared to listen to how they feel. They will cherish you for that, I promise, because it is important to their well-being and to their success. Here's the other important lesson in that quote: a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Listen to me, class of 2021. Every step builds on itself to get you there. Don't get me wrong. As a lawyer at heart and by occupation, I still wondered why I needed to know the parameter of a square or the different elements of a periodic table. I still had not used my knowledge of different types of plants, clouds, or rocks to get justice for a client. And I still haven't been asked by the courts to mix primary colors or to use a microscope. But I am so happy that I paid attention to those things in school, because there is so much more than just classes or subjects. See, the things you are taught at this early age means more to your life than you can see right now. They teach you how to persevere, even when the lesson is not your first choice, how to be disciplined, how to be well-rounded in your general knowledge of the world around you, and how to challenge yourself to be excellent. Those lessons and skills are very important as you grow up. They build on each other. The ones you end up using in your careers and the ones you don't. They all mean something to the person that you become. You cannot afford to close your eyes while you walk on your journey. You must pay attention and be fully aware of each step. You must learn lessons along the way and make mistakes. And you must be open to finding new passions and to constructive criticism to make you better. See, as a general matter, what I'm saying is, you cannot expect to fall asleep throughout your journey and wake up at your destination at the profession that you choose. Each step has to be purposeful. Just a few more thoughts. When you find what works for you, graduating class, keep doing it. That will take you another few steps of the way. And what I mean by that is, if you find that you studied for an exam for several hours over several days, and you did well, don't forget why you did well now. Because if you go into the next exam without that kind of effort, you may not like the result. If you ask for anything in life, listen to me. Ask that people teach you how to fish. Do not simply ask them for some of their own fish. Because the skill is way more important, way more valuable, and takes you further. Always help others and give back to your community. Help someone that's struggling in a subject that you know better. Encourage your friends if they seem to need it. Volunteer to help the elderly or people in your community with mental or physical challenges. Because these things cost nothing but a kind heart. Lastly, you should be a lifelong learner. You should never find yourself in a position, graduating class, where you believe you have learned enough. I'm talking to you today as a young lawyer who has a lot to learn, lots of mistakes to make, and lots of life challenges left to face. Your teacher, Mrs. Ricketts, is extremely proud of you. And she sent me a beautiful picture of all of you, and it looks amazing. You all look great, and you look great today. You all changed up the gown colors and everything. It was red or burgundy when I was there. It's all blue. It looks great. And I see what y'all doing with your masks. Y'all look awesome today, okay? But Mrs. Ricketts, by the way, I have a bone to pick with her. Because as we were trading memories on Facebook, but her memory, her biggest memory of me as a kid at Kilsyth is getting into trouble and being reprimanded by Mrs. Baxter. That's her. I have a bone to pick with you, Mrs. Ricketts, if that's what you remember of me. But Mrs. Ricketts is extremely proud of you. She has taught at Kilsyth for over 20 years. She takes her role seriously in nurturing minds like yours, taking you all around the country for competitions, teaching netball, and just teaching you how to have fun while you educate yourself. I hope that you will take her lessons with you as you carry on. Your families, I'm sure, are very proud too. And above all, you should be super proud of yourselves. I understand that you all have selected some really good schools for the next phase of your education, and I sincerely hope that wherever you go, you will leave a good mark. And as you continue on your various journeys, for those of you who are still awake, just remember that if you want good, you know it's off a run. Congratulations, and thank you for having me. And to Kilsyth Primary, thanks for everything you have given me. I can never repay you. Thank you.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Put your hands together again for Mr. Jermaine Horton. You know, Jamaicans excel wherever they go. And anywhere in this world you go, you will find a Jamaican. And whether he's doing good or he's doing bad, he's excelling at it. There's no doubt that our guest speaker is over there doing a whole lot of good. And we are grateful that he could share with us this afternoon. It speaks volumes when a past student can come back to his school to address the graduating class. Not any student will be invited back to address the graduating class. And so we want to thank him because of the example that he set, how he availed himself so that he could be invited back to share this afternoon. And we again want to say, regardless of what is happening, we are persevering, because maybe if we never had COVID, we would not have had this guest speaker, because probably wouldn't take the plane and come out here. But because of COVID, we can have our guest speaker from the United States. Put your hands together for him again. And we celebrate. With all that has happened with COVID, we continue to celebrate. So much was shared in his address. And there's just so much to chew on. And if I had to pick, in almost every sentence that he spoke gave something, some anecdote that could keep us, for us to remember, for us to repeat. And so we want to remember his speech in entirety. And I know that the graduating class will remember, because I watched them in rapt attention, taking in what was going on. You see, there's something about technology for this set. So I know that they learned from what he said. If you do not remember anything that our guest speaker shared with us this afternoon, remember that he said, no one can believe in you like you can. Put your hands together again for Mr. Horton. And we thank him so much for sharing with us, for encouraging us, and for allowing you to know, you sitting there this afternoon, that there is no limit to what you can do. He was a little boy at Kilsyth in his burgundy gown, sitting like you some years ago, but today he's in the United States, he's a lawyer, and he's addressing your class. There is no limit to what you can do. Put your hands together for him again. Coming on now to another presentation from the graduates, and like I said before, I especially love this part of the graduating service, so I'll just take my seat quickly, and ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class will be presenting their next item. Put your hands together for them.
Graduates, no matter which road you choose,
No matter how long it may seem, let your heart be your guide along the way if you want to fulfill your dreams.
no matter the detours,
The roadblocks are dark nights.
Continue your heart's desire to set the world on fire. You are the light of a new day. Shine for all to see.
carry your knowledge from this day forward.
Blaze a trail for history. No one will ever be quite like you. Remember this important truth. We all have a purpose in this life, and it begins in our youth.
Who you are now and who you will become is determined by your soul.
And with your dreams in your heart to lead the way, you can conquer any goal. Congratulations.
Indeed, congratulations. Put your hands together for them again. The men and women of tomorrow. Those who have come through great tribulations. Right on the heel of that, we'll be having the valedictory address, and this will be given by Danelia Jones. Put your hands together for Danelia Jones as she comes.
Board Chairman, Ms. Maxine Anderson, Member of Parliament, Mr. Philip Henriquez, our guest speaker in absentee, Mr. Jermaine Houghton, this function's chairman, Mrs. Cleonia Copeland, distinguished guests, principal, teachers, parents, well-wishers, and my fellow graduates, good afternoon. I am extremely honored and humbled to be selected as the valedictorian of the graduating class of 2021. Our lives at Kilsyth has been like a carousel. Many of us have spent the past 8 years or less as proud students of this noble institution. And now, it is with mixed emotions that we leave. We must embark on new journeys and to new horizons, but we are proud to say that we are well prepared for the task ahead. Our resilient and hardworking teachers, coupled with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, has equipped us to take on whatever challenges may come next. Hence, our vision statement: a child-friendly institution that produces individuals with the acumen to function effectively in society, a society with or without a pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have endured through better and worse, and today we stand as proud products of excellent teachers. Our journey from infant to grade 6 has been like a roller coaster ride, as there were many successes that we encountered. We must stand proud in the fact that we are one of the strongest sets of students to ever grace the halls of this institution. We have overcome one of the greatest global hurdles, the COVID pandemic. Our teachers and parents have learned so much in the past year. They have made a 360-degree transformation, all in an effort to ensure that we were not left behind. Our kind, dedicated, patient, and caring teachers have walked the lines just like us, and I am sure I speak for all of them when I say they are relieved that it's coming to an end. Along with our teachers, our guidance counselor has been there, helping to provide the much-needed psychosocial support. I must thank all the support staff, the caregiver, Miss Denton, who we can admit has been more than a caregiver, the cooks, janitor, watchmen, and even the vendors at the gate who are always looking out for us. We thank you for being a part of this memorable journey. Fellow graduates, with the words of Michael Josephson, I admonish and encourage us today. Take pride in how far you have come. Have faith in how far you can go, but do not forget to enjoy the journey. We are the honorees of this day. Each of us deserves the great recognition and praise for the hard work we have done. And guys, we finally completed the great chapter we started a few years ago. I want you to know what a great gift it is to be as prepared as we are, because not all schools offer such a well-rounded program. Be reminded that life can be a maze, so let us remain grounded as we move to higher places. With what we have gained from Kilsyth, we can immensely impact not only Jamaica, but the world. We have had a remarkable journey here at Kilsyth, and I am sure I speak for all of us when I say the memories will forever be in our hearts. Kilsyth exposed us to greatness and moral values. It is for us now to recall and reflect on those lessons, to recall the examples of our teachers, the supporting Kilsyth staff, and the surrounding communities for the support and dedication they served us with. We say a big thanks. I want to thank all the teachers of this noble institution, especially the ones who helped to recognize our talents and for giving us the opportunity and countless experiences. We must acknowledge our parents, families, and friends for their support and guidance throughout the years. They have always been in our corner. Through thick and thin, the ups and downs, the frustrations, and many low days, you continue to be there with us, and we must say thank you. Finally, we can be thankful for each other. The bonds that we forge here will last a lifetime. To my fellow graduates, as our school motto states, hard work is the key to success. Let us continue to work hard on the next chapter of our life's journey. Be aware there will be obstacles, potholes, and roadblocks. Tackle each new obstacle with confidence, knowing that you have achieved great heights and you are equipped with the necessary tool to tackle your future. In doing so, resist distractions. Choose what is right, not wrong. Soar for greater heights, and let us bloom wherever we are planted. Thank you.
This deserves a standing ovation. And you can see that her colleagues are pleased with how she presented herself. They stood and they, applauded her. I applaud you too, Miss Jones. You have a very beautiful voice and a very beautiful face too. Congratulations, you did well. Put your hands together for little Miss Jones again. This is history in the making. And all of us who are here are a part of this history in the making. A couple of years from now, they look at us and say, look how you did look. Look how she did. We're history in the making. And I'm delighted to be a part of history. Put your hands together for Miss Jones again. You did exceptionally well. So proud to have witnessed that. We're coming to another part that the children, they look forward to. And I see many goodies on the table here, and I'm just peeping around to see if my name is perhaps on one of these trophies. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe, just maybe, if I'm lucky, my name is on one of these, and I'll be taking home one with me, if I'm lucky. And so, they're sitting there and they're waiting expectantly. They'll be taking home these little memorabilia and they will place them on their mantles and they will look at them for years to come because they will speak of the achievements that they have made. Coming at this time to make the presentations, put your hands together for Mrs. Peart and Miss Christie. They'll be making presentation to the graduating class 2021.
Once more, I observe all protocols, and I must make special mention of our guest speaker, Mr. Jermaine Horton. I am so proud of you. And my memories of you, that bold little boy who was always chosen to do some things because we know that he will not let us down. Thank you, Mr. Horton. Your speech was very well. For the presentation of the certificates and souvenirs, we have Miss Walters and Miss Christie. I'm going to ask you, Miss Walters, to stay right here. Right, so you are going to do the hand. We are going to invite different persons to hand out certificates and souvenirs. And I know the graduates would want to see Mr. Philip Henriquez and Pastor Peku in their pictures. So we are going to ask Mr. Philip Henriquez to stand right at the bottom there, sir. Right there. And you will hand out some of the souvenirs for us as we call on Miss Ricketts. Oh. First teacher, right? Some of the teachers will hand certificates and some will hand, and the member of parliament and our pastor will hand out the souvenirs. First person. Yes. First person on our list, Danielia Jones. So before Danielia goes, if you look on each certificate, they are colored in different, depending on the achievement. We have gold certificate. Markino Blake, bronze. Leandre Bonick, bronze. Give it to Miss Clark. Give Miss Clark. Jamil Foster, bronze. Janelle Buchanan, bronze. Janiel Campbell, bronze. Trisilla Clark, bronze. Amelia Foster, bronze. Jamil Foster, bronze. Alicia Francis, bronze. Thank you, Mr. Henriquez. Now we will invite Pastor Peku to continue the handing out of certificates. Abigail Page, bronze. Daniel Williams, bronze. Dante Fowler, merit. O'Neill Goldburn, merit. Sashay Kincaid, merit. Shaheem Reynolds, merit. Jaheem Smart, merit. Janardo Thomas, merit. Roger Wright, merit. And last, but by no means least, Shanara Williams, merit. Thank you, Pastor Peku. Now we are going to hand out the souvenirs to the graduates, and the teaching staff will help with this handing out. And we are going to call on Mrs. Ricketts to stand right here. So I'm going to call the names of the graduates once more. Danelia Jones. Tamika Stewart. Ariana Angel. Marquino Blake. Thank you, Mrs. Ricketts. We'll now call on Mrs. Griffiths to assist in the handing out of souvenirs. And we're going to call on Leandre Bonick. Janelle Buchanan. Janiel Campbell. Trisilla Clark. Thank you, Mrs. Griffiths. We are now going to call on Mrs. Mavis Price Bedward to help with the handing out of the souvenirs. And we now have Amelia Foster. Jamil Foster. Alicia Francis. Abigail Page. Daniel Williams. Dante Fowler. Thank you, Mrs. Bedward. We're now going to call on Miss Samantha Rose to come at this time with the hand to help us here with the handing out of the souvenirs. And we are now going to call on O'Neill Goldburn. Sashay Kincaid. Shaheem Reynolds. Jaheem Smart. Thank you, Miss Rose. Don't go and sit down. Please switch role with Miss Walters. She's right here. And we're going to ask Miss Walters to hand out the last three. And they are Janardo Thomas, Roger Wright, and Shanara Williams. Thank you, Ms. Walters. Graduates, I'm asking you to stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the graduates of 2021. Please give them a loud applause. Thank you. You may sit. Thank you, Miss Christie and Miss Rose. I'll now hand back to our Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Madam Principal. And thank you to those members of staff who helped to make the presentations. Let us put our hands together for them. Yes, man. In Jamaica, you show people that you appreciate what they do, whatever it is. We thank you so much for sharing in this. Congratulations, class of 2021. You're certified. You have your license. You've made it. Put your hands together for them one more time. We are so proud of you, and our prayers will continue to be behind you as you continue to journey. We're now going to be praying for the school leavers. I'm asking the musician to continue with that same song, Through It All. Through it all. Learn to trust in Jesus. We have learned to trust in God. We're going to be inviting the graduating class to stand. Please stand, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand. We're going to be praying for you, all of you. You see, we believe that prayer is necessary. It's a staple. Cannot make it without strong and solid prayers behind you. And you are blessed to have your own pastor in your graduation with you today, Pastor Peku. He'll be coming to place you one more time in the hands of God as you continue on this journey that we call life. Many obstacles, roadblocks, hills, all kinds of things. But with prayer and with God, you can make it. Through it all.
Through it all.
I have many tears and sorrows. I have many questions for tomorrow. There were times when I didn't know right from wrong. But in every situation, you gave blessed consolation that our trials only come to make us strong. Eternal God, the I am that I am, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the one who is, who was, and is to come. Again we approach thy throne of grace. As we come committing our children into your hands. You have brought them just far through one phase of their lives. And Lord, as they cross the Red Sea, they are on a journey to the promised land that you have made to them. I pray, dear Lord, that you will lead, you'll guide, you'll keep, and you'll protect them. That even when they come to the Jordan, they know, they will realize that they won't have to cross Jordan alone. We ask, God, that you take their hands. We ask that you keep them from danger. We ask that you give them integrity. That when they are faced or presented with a choice of choosing either right or wrong, give them the will to choose right, even when it might not seem like the thing to do. For truly what this nation lacks is a man and woman of integrity. But we pray, dear Lord, that your Holy Spirit will so inculcate within these boys and girls the spirit of right and wrong. And they will choose to do right at all times. We pray, dear Lord, that you keep them honest. But truly this honesty seems to be the order of the day. One man say, he that played by the rule gets shafted. But I pray, dear God, that these boys and girls will know that rules are not meant to be broken, but they are meant to be kept. Guide their step. As they move from primary school to high school, a total different environment they will face. But give them the courage. Help them to be strong. Help them to be courageous. Lord, we pray that you will continue to touch those brain cells. That they know that this phase of their life will even be more difficult. But with you, they can make it. If anything this COVID has taught us is that we are a people with resolve. We can fight the good fight. And if we resolve, we can make it. So I pray a hedge around them. Let them not become a statistic. Let them not become a dropout. Let them not suffer abuse of no kind, dear Lord. Back every powers and every clouds of darkness that will seek to militate against them. Dispatch your holy angel to build a fence around them, that no weapon that form against them shall be able to prosper. Lift them up and bear them over, Lord, on your snowy wings. Give them grace for every trial and feed them with the living bread. By extension, we pray for their parents, that you supply the needs, that they will have the resources and the wherewithal, that to go through high school, to go through college, and to become people of worth and value to this nation. I pronounce your blessing upon them even now. And we ask you, Lord, to lift up the light of your countenance upon them. Cause your face to shine upon them. Give them your shalom in Yeshua's name. Amen. Amen.
Amen and amen. You may be seated, class of 2021. Thank you so much, Pastor Paku. And we declare you all blessed and covered and empowered and, oh my God, and amplified as you go forward, as you continue on this journey called life. We are almost at the end of the program, and in my estimation, it was a very good one. Last year, we couldn't have none at all. This year, we have, well, it's not a virtual one, we have good graduation. Put your hands together for the organizers of this function. Well put together, and we're grateful to have been here this afternoon to share in this occasion. I do not take it for granted. Good manners dictates that we say thanks for all services rendered. And here's a little gentleman coming to represent his batch. He will be raising, lifting, giving the vote of thanks. Put your hands together for little Mr. Campbell. Step forward, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon, everyone. I deem this an honor and a privilege to be selected from among my peers to extend the vote of thanks. A great man once whispered, feeling thankfulness and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it. Today, I take the opportunity to put all our gratitude into words. On behalf of the school's management and all my fellow graduates, I would like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Jermaine Horton, for taking the time out and consenting to address us on this auspicious occasion. Sir, indeed your words have truly inspired us and left a positive marks on our life which we will always remember. I must also thank our able chairman, Mrs. Cleona Copeland, who seamlessly and effortlessly guided us through the ceremony. Your presence has brought us so much life and enthusiasm to this day. Your upbeat personality has truly made this day one to remember. To all other specially invited guests, thank you for your immeasurable support. We, the graduates, appreciate you taking the time out to be here for us today. We have been blessed and fortunate to be assisted by our hardworking and dedicated staff, led by our acting principal, Mrs. Peart. You all have been a constant pillar of strength to us. You have always given us a lot of encouragement and support, and for that, we are forever grateful. Thank you all. To our ancillary staff, thank you. You always make coming to school feel like being at home away from home, with the hot, scrumptious meals and clean environment. Our parents, you deserve a standing ovation. What would we have done without you? Where would we have been without you? Today, you watch as we close one door and prepare to open another. And we know without a doubt that you have our backs. We know that, as always, you will continue to be by our sides. Even though the ceremony is virtual, we know you are all watching with immense pride. And we promise to continue to bring such pride to your lives. Thank you. Finally, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to my classmates for the experience that we have shared. Through the good times and the bad, we all have been there for each other, and this ceremony is a culmination of our primary years together. Without us, there would be no graduation ceremony. Once again, I want to thank everyone for making one of the most important events of our lives a success. Thank you all.
And thank you, Mr. Campbell, for moving the vote of thanks. Put your hands together for him. And so, we bring down the curtains of what has been a memorable experience. An experience that will remain with me and will no doubt remain with you as we continue this uphill climb. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you who are here this afternoon, you, as I said before, are a part of history in the making. We continue to climb. We continue to press. We continue to push. We continue to move forward because we will not stay down. Okay, and so here's a member of staff, and she has come to make the closing remarks. Put your hands together for her.
Graduates, it was a pleasure for me to be here today. Now, I would love to do some thanks. I would like to thank Mr. Campbell for the awesome music. I will love to express my heartfelt love to Mr. Peku for being here and for supporting us with prayers. I will also like to thank Mr. Enriquez for being here. I know that at times it may be busy for you, but you came here and you sat through it all with us, and we want to thank you. I would love to thank Mrs. Ricketts, Mrs. Peart, Miss Griffiths, Miss Bedward, Miss Walters, Miss Rose, and the other members of staff who are not here, Miss Wignall, Mr. Llewellyn, Mr. Campbell again, and Miss Denton and Miss Bev. We worked. We worked. And I would love to thank this lovely lady. Could you stand for me, please? Look at the sunshine outside. She was radiating like the sunshine. She was lively. She was vibrant. She was energetic. She's so beautiful. She's elegant. And we want to tell her thanks for being here today and for making today a lovely day. And we also have a token to give her, and I will call Daniela. Oh, Daniela, before you come, hold on a minute. No man, may I overstep my bound. I would love to thank those lovely gentlemen down there. Come on, man, stand up for me. I would love to thank those lovely gentlemen down there. Father and son team, the photographer and the young man assistant photographer that he took with him. Guys, I will even amidst the odds, because you know that it's technology and sometimes we might have difficulties, but you soar and you delivered. So I love Daniela to come now. Now, they say that little is much when God is in it. The basket might not be big, but it is the thought that is behind it. We just want to show our love and our appreciation for having you here. And to tell you the truth, I will sit down and listen to you over and over and over again. I would love to be in a church service with you.
Really appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words, and I do appreciate the basket. Heavy, and it look like things in there with me love. Yes, heavy, and it look like things in there with me love. And teacher full of lyrics and all kinds of things that make me blush, and so I thank you for having me. I really appreciate you inviting me. I have said it again and again. I am honored and blessed. I consider myself very fortunate to have shared with you this afternoon. Teacher, guidance counselor. Sorry, miss. I call in teacher because it's not your title. Guidance counselor. So, I am inviting you to church this coming Sunday. Bless the Lord. We worship at Spalding Cathedral. And if you drive past, you see we have a building up there, big and nice and pretty. And this Sunday, we will be worshiping there for the very first time. And we have space can accommodate everybody while observing protocols. We invite you to church on Sunday. We begin at 8:30 sharp, and I'll be looking out for you. Pardon me? They have space, man. Space. If you can't hold on a bottom, we put up a balcony. We have space and space and space galore. We're inviting you out on Sunday morning as we go out the very first time to worship in fine style in the cathedral. And so we're at the very end of our program. And we're going to end it by singing, "This is the day that the Lord has made." I invite you to stand. Stand, man. We're going to clap one and stamp feet and give God thanks for all that he has done for us and for taking us over. This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has. One more time, sing. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Put your hands above your head and give the Lord a clap. Come on, man, magnify the name of Jesus. This is indeed the day that the Lord has made. A year ago, none of us knew that we would be here. None of us knew that we could have this today. Many of us may have thought that the COVID virus would have taken us. We are counted among the blessed because many died, but we are here. And this is the day that the Lord has made, and he has made us to be alive in this day, and we give him thanks. We're going to stand at attention for the national anthem. could, you may be seated, and we're going to be having, just for a while, the recession. We're going to ask Mr. Campbell to give us something on the keys, and we'll ask the platform party to recess first, and then the graduating class will follow, and then others of us will go after the graduating class.